I've been told there's two kinds of people in this world. There's those with loaded guns and those who dig. Tonight you dig. I was just playing. What I want to talk about tonight is the two kinds of characters you have in a story. It's actually not a binary thing, it's a scale. Some characters are incompetent, some characters are competent, and a lot of other characters exist in between. What we want to talk about tonight is how you use those different characters. Welcome to the video, ladies and gentlemen. I'm trying a new format where I provide the voiceover separate from the video, and we're just going to see how this works. I guess this is more like a podcast or something. I hope I can stay on topic. I prepared a small outline. Let me know if I ramble too much. This article was inspired by a television show that I've been watching lately. It's called Legend of Korra. Now, other people can tell you what's wrong with the show. I don't want to talk about that. I've actually mostly enjoyed it, but there's been some developments in the third season and the first half of the fourth season that I just can't stand. Basically, they're using their character wrong. Korra is a competent character, and they're treating her like an incompetent character. So let's talk about why that's a problem. Here's how you deal with an incompetent character. You start off with Bilbo Baggins. The only thing he's good at is eating second breakfast. Maybe third. I don't know. He fails consistently. He makes stupid decisions. He makes bad choices. He screws up. He gets rescued a lot. When the end of the book finally comes, Bilbo has developed enough so that he can succeed at this one thing that really, really matters. And that's when he makes a difference. That's how you use an incompetent character. You can even do this thing where you have a successful failure. You can have a moment where... And here's a really good example of this. What is it called? The last of the original Star Wars films, Return of the Jedi, I think is what it's called. Whatever. At the end, Luke does not defeat the Emperor. He doesn't kick Darth Vader's ass. He actually gets his ass kicked. He's lying there on the ground, screaming in pain. And at that point, he breaks through, not by doing anything, but basically just by getting his butt kicked. He breaks through Vader's... I don't know, whatever Vader's thing was. And Vader says, all right, I've had enough of this. He throws the Emperor off the balcony, and they all live happily ever after. Close, something like that. Doesn't matter. It's a successful failure. When your character has to get rescued at the end, when your character, through their influence but not through their direct action, somehow manages to make things come out okay, that kind of works. Now, you could also say that at the end of the hero's journey, you've actually made a trip from incompetent to competent, but it's still a hero's journey, kind of an arc. And one of the basic characteristics of an incompetent character is you usually put them in a hero's journey, kind of an arc. And with a competent character, that's not the case. So, for example, a competent character might be Indiana Jones. Indiana Jones is the same guy at the end of the story he was at the beginning. Nothing's different. Nothing has changed for him. He's not developed. He was already a badass, and he's still a badass when it's over. So, how do you deal with a competent character? Number one thing you can do is you can play on their weaknesses. Indiana Jones's weakness in the very first movie is a brunette with a tight body, which is a weakness I share, which may be why I'm watching Legend of Korra in the first place. Let's not talk about that. Number two thing you can do is you can cheat. You can have the bad guy literally cheat to win. This is something you see in all kinds of movies, particularly martial arts kind of things with Daniel San. I can't remember the other guy's name. Mr. Miyagi? There we go. Doesn't matter. But you have the bad guy cheat to win, and you can have the bad guy be dangerous without undermining what your character has earned, what your character has developed. You don't make the audience think, hey, wait a minute, you told me he was a badass, now he sucks, what the hell's going on? The third thing you've got to do with a competent character is now and then you have to let them shine. When you're talking about a competent character, you're talking about someone that the reader looks up to, someone that the reader likes a lot. And not getting to see them in their element doing their thing is a horrible, horrible pain in the ass. Think about Dr. House, all those episodes in, I forget which season, where he does nothing other than screw up over and over again. There's barely a medical case or whatever. I hated those. Same thing with superhero comics in particular. They've been bad lately, I'm told, because they don't hero all that much. They just screw around. You're like, I wanted to see somebody get beat down by Captain America, and instead he's, I don't know, playing tiddlywinks. I don't actually read comics, but the point is, you want to get what you came for. You want to get your money's worth. And with the hero, what that is you want to see them do what they do best. So sometimes you got to find a way for them to do that doesn't break the story. This may be the part that's most difficult to deal with for a competent character, but I'm going to give you an example of where it was done well. Aragorn. That is Aragorn, son of Arathorn, Strider, etc., etc. Not the one from the books, but the one from the Jackson trilogy. In the trilogy, Aragorn starts off as a two-legged murder machine. He just kills every orc in sight. He's absolutely a competent soldier. He's a competent commander. He's a leader of men. But he has his shortcomings. He doesn't want to be king because he believes that he's not worthy of it. He very, very deeply feels the sins of his fathers. And I mean that literally. One of his forebears was Isildur. Never mind. Why did I even try to say that? Isildur, who basically screwed us all. He's that one guy who really messed up that one time and didn't burn the ring, so now we're stuck with Sauron. Congratulations. He doesn't like that. He doesn't like that he's part of a bloodline that was susceptible to that kind of a mistake. And so he's kind of conflicted on the inside, even though on the outside he acts like he's really in control and he can do whatever it takes. So you can have a character who's competent, and it doesn't ruin the story as long as what's important to the plot is outside that character's realm of competence. Now, they could have done that with Korra. They could have made it so that whatever it was she had to do had to be done with something other than her fists. That would have been fine. She's trained her whole life for bending combat. She's mastered all four elements and then some. She's hypothetically, I don't know, she's supposed to be good at this. But instead of letting her show that, letting the audience enjoy that now and then, she gets her butt handed to her over and over and over and over again. It got to the point where we got to episode 6 in season 4, and we finally get to see her take the field. We've been waiting half the season for this fight. I couldn't even get excited when it started because I knew she was going to get her ass handed to her again. It just drives me nuts. I really would appreciate it if you guys, whenever you get famous, just don't do this to your characters. It's very painful to watch. I wouldn't recommend it. So, a quick review. How does it work with incompetent characters? You get failure after failure. You get a lot of rescues. At the end of the book, they finally succeed as they make the transition from incompetent to competent. With a competent character, you have to play on weaknesses. You have to cheat. You have to take them outside their comfort zone, and sometimes you've got to give the audience what they want. Hope you enjoyed the video, ladies and gentlemen. I'll catch you later.